Hi, everyone. My name is Ann Simonton, and welcome to Moving Forward. I'm going to be the host for this program, and we're so lucky today to have with us as a guest Irene Vanderzand. She's the founder, executive director of KidPower International. Irene, would you be willing to share with us how KidPower started?
Well, thank you, Anne. It's really a pleasure to be here. The reason I do this work is because in 1985, when my family was young, I protected a group of young children, including my own two, from a man who was threatening to kidnap them. We were in downtown Santa Cruz in the middle of the day and with people all around. We were actually in the metro station. And this man came charging towards us with his arms stretched out, shouting, "I'm going to take one of these girls to be my bride." It was a classic case of the bystander effect because everybody froze except for me. And I did what I know you would do, Anne, and that people watching this would do. I put myself in between the man and the kids and I started yelling. And then I ordered a bystander for help. And he ran away as soon as this guy came and stood next to me. When the kids were actually fine because their perception was I yelled and the bad guy ran. But I wasn't fine. So I took a self-defense class.
And that's how I met you, right, Irene? That was how we met.
That's how we met. We were in that class together.
Yeah, so long ago, but it was really a memorable class. Very memorable for me.
For me too. It changed my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So uh, after that, I started looking for answers. So one of the answers was, what if he knocked me down? That's why I took the class. And the other answer was, what I knew that he didn't just do this one day and never again. I worried about unprotected children that he might have gone on to assault.
Yeah, so tell us a little more about Kid Power. What's going on with Kid Power right now?
Okay. Okay. So from there, in that search for answers, we started Kid Power as a nonprofit in 1989. And Kid Power today, we have reached over 6 million people all over the world. We say every continent except Antarctica. We have people who come to our website, and I'm going to just show you some of the resources on our Kid Power International website. We have over 50,000 people a month coming to our website because we say we protect kids, prepare teens, and empower adults, but actually we do all three for all ages and all abilities.
So it's a Kid Power. It's called Kid Power, but it's not just for kids. Looks like.
No, not just for kids. We work with adults too. We say for people who are kids and people who used to be kids. And we don't just do, self-defense skills. We teach all kinds of skills in, we say that I'm going to come back up here. We say, of course, what we would really like people to come to us for is strong relationships because strong and safe relationships prevent problems, make our lives happier, reduce isolation, increase success for things we want to do. It's the core of so much. However, what people usually come to us for is the prevention of harm. That's the pain. The most common reason people come to us is my kid's being bullied in school. And so we have identified, and the skills work for both preventing abuse, bullying, kidnapping, assault, intimate partner violence, um, working on online safety, digital citizenship, prejudice based harm, and we adapt for all abilities. And I just want to show that because even though it's many areas of expertise, it's the same core skills. And we have a lot of resources on our website. For example, we have that 30 skill challenge handbook. People can download it. We have it in English, Spanish, and Arabic right now, and it's getting into other languages, including Bangla. They just translated it into Bangla. Um, and so we'll practice some of these skills, but I also want to show you a couple of the other pages. So, taking a look maybe at the child abuse prevention page, if we could. And so here, for each of these pages, whether it's for kids, teens, or adults, we have the workshops, we have resources, free resources, we have books. We provide many different classes. For the, can you go to the, oh yes, our online library. That's our little KidPower library, which means it's free. It's in the library. And we've also just started an online learning center. And now I'd like to take a look at our full power resources for adults.
Well, so can you just explain, are these physical skills as well as just like losing your words or
Yes,
uh
yes, these are skills like
yeah.
staying aware. In fact, let's go to take a look at, so this is for adults, it's skills like moving away from trouble. And because we're teaching online right now, and we're going to continue to teach online when we can, we'll go back in person. And but we practice. We don't just talk about it, we practice. So let's have a little video about awareness. What happens when you're not aware and what happens when you are aware? And so first of all, this is our safety signal for staying aware. You point to your eyes and you turn your head and look in different directions.
Put your phone away. You're not being aware. We're getting ready to cross the street. Wait. Put your phone away. We need to use our awareness. Okay. Okay.
So we show how to use these skills in real life. And so this is how we practice awareness. And if you will, just with me, close your body down. Put your head down,
Okay.
cross your arms, look down. When you're like this, people are more likely to bother you and less likely to listen to you. And you're also less likely to be able to see trouble if it comes, right? So you open your body up.
Okay.
And you put your hands down, you turn and your head and look around. That's awareness power.
And you point at
Another
your eyes.
the pointing to your eyes is to help people who are learning remember. In real life, we aren't pointing to our eyes, but we have safety signals, which are simple gestures that help people remember core safety concepts. And the safety signals in the safety signal for awareness power is to point to your eyes and then turn your head. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for
So
asking.
as an adult, I'm not supposed to do that.
An adult, you're not
Oh,
supposed.
that's only for kids.
Actually, we do this for adults too, because people forget to
I
stay
think it's good. I mean, it's kind of like, oh, use your eyes and
that's
look around. What are my
right around.
yeah.
Exactly. So we actually do this for adults too, because we forget. Another skill is calm down power, because when you're really agitated, and we'll show you a video of how this looks in a minute, but when you're really agitated, then it's hard to think clearly. It's hard to make wise choices. So pretend to be just bear with me because we practice everything. Adults too. Just pretend to be really agitated. Just go like that.
Ah,
A
oh.
lot of people have been feeling that way a lot of the time, right? And
Yeah.
now I have to hold my hands up high so you can see it. Squeeze your palms together like this so you can really get that point at the base of your palm. Press against that. Straighten
Okay.
your back. Take a breath. Feel your feet. And this is calm down power. And I've had, when we do parent education workshops, for example, and maybe there's been an abuse case in the community, I have parents sitting the entire workshop like this. I have
I think
people.
it's good. Yeah, it's a physiological response, probably. Yeah.
Exactly.
And now they're saying to just breathe through your nose,
Yes,
no
I'm
breathing through your mouth.
breathing through your mouth, but I'm hoping that'll change. Anyway, depends on where you are, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so, so here's a little demonstration of what it looks like when in a real life setting.
Hey, I just did all the dishes. Would you please load them in the dishwasher?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Okay, now when somebody's frustrated, like we take these typical situations and just show how they work in real life. Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody they've annoyed
Always
you.
taking a breath is good. Yeah.
That's it. And then
And
if you,
then the physical. Yeah,
yeah, and straightening your
I
back
like that.
too. Straightening your back does help as much as you can. So
Yeah.
another kind of skills we teach are with boundaries on touch. And we have levels of intrusion. So if you want to put a hand on a shoulder, just do this right now. Practice with me. A hand on a shoulder. Put a
Uh,
hand. There you go. Pretend it's my hand. And if you like that hand there, it's fine. But pretend you don't. So just use your other hand and remove the hand.
yeah.
And say, please stop. Say,
Please
please.
stop.
And suppose I don't listen and I say, ah, but I like touching your shoulder. Put the hand back and pretending it's my hand. And now you're going to say it more strongly and say, I said stop. Go ahead and remove my hand
Yeah.
and say, I said
I
stop.
said stop. I
And,
said stop.
and then we go through offering a bribe. And here's a little demonstration of what that looks like.
Want a hug?
No thanks.
Oh, please.
I'm not in the mood.
Oh, come on, give me my
I
hug.
said no.
Listen, if you give me my hug, I'll give you some chocolate.
That's a bribe. Stop or I'll leave.
Oh, come on, I just want a hug.
So we teach people to persist in setting boundaries, and they physically practice how to do that, to physically persist. We also teach self-defense skills, but most of the time, problems are in what we call the everyday safety realm. Things like awareness can actually help you move away from the self-defense, physical self-defense realm. But the point is that we teach, that we show the skill, and then we create a step-by-step practice and coach people so they're successful in that practice.
Right, because it's often the wearing down of someone's resistance, like she did, that causes people to act in a way they don't want to be acting. I mean, I could attest to that.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so interesting. Lots of so much information in here.
Yes. And so what so we just are as I said, it's child abuse prevention. We work with all kinds of groups. We working with schools,
So,
we work with domestic violence shelters. Yeah.
so really, Irene, what makes Kid Power unique in terms of other things, and that's made it so incredibly popular worldwide?
Well, I think it's a number of things. One is we work with everybody, and we coach people to be successful in practices using examples that are relevant for their lives and adapted for their ages and abilities. Everything is positive. We call it our positive practice teaching method. We don't use fear to teach. We focus on not the problems, but what you can do. We acknowledge the problems, but then we focus on what you can do to be safe and how you can teach other vulnerable people in your life how to be safe. We
And
have,
that can really, yeah, that makes a big difference, I think, if you're just not focusing on fear. Because as a parent, I remember it being really difficult to try to encourage my son to look out because of this or that without using some kind of teaching him basically the scary things that are out there. How do you get around that?
yes, well, part of it is we educate adults about the fact that when we focus on, when we raise awareness about scary things, it increases anxiety. When we acknowledge, and we teach adults to actually use, we call this the screen technique, put your fingers up like this.
Hmm.
And this is to help you remember, like the screens on a window, you let in the fresh air and keep out the bugs. When it comes to the news, let in the information you need and keep out the rest of it. When it comes to somebody being insulting who you need to have information from, it means screening out the insults and taking in the useful information. And we do that so that we acknowledge the problem. And we say, with the pandemic, we say, yes, this is hard, but then we don't dwell on it. We
We're
don't watch.
screening out the COVID. Yeah.
We screen out all the scary stuff about it and we say, what can we do to stay safe? We take in the useful information. We
I think
screen
that
out.
physical reminder is very powerful. It's very powerful.
Yeah,
I
you'll
mean,
find yourself. You probably
because
won't do it.
yeah, when you think about a physical reminder to what it is that's going on in your emotional state, that's a very powerful tool. That's exciting.
Well, good. We have about 12 emotional safety skills that we teach and we practice those. We have
Yeah.
little workshops where we practice them and online safety, how to be safe online. But again, it's just being very down to earth and practical. And it seems to work across cultures because we have people in Bangladesh right now and Nepal who are teaching these same skills as we teach here.
I think that's really pretty phenomenal that it's so cross-cultural, that it could be translated and be understood because really human emotions are pretty similar throughout. And the idea of wanting to feel safe and feel that you have tools to protect yourself with.
That's exactly right. That's it.
Yeah. So it seems like we've been rushing through this and we're getting I wanted to find out, because you mentioned the pandemic, that this is a particularly difficult time for violence at home. Sheltering in place can bring out sometimes the worst in one another, and now with the financial crisis, it's a very frightening situation for a lot of people at home. So
Yes.
what does Kid Power do to address that?
Well, part of what we do is we teach people to how to stay connected because if you want to protect a vulnerable person, say a child at home, one of the most, and you're not there, one of the most powerful things you can do is stay connected with that child. Long distance, keep checking in, be strategic about if you're worried, and of course report things when when you have suspicion of abuse or call the National Child Abuse Prevention Hotline and get guidance and counseling when you fear that a child's being abused. Same with the domestic violence prevention hotline. And so staying in touch with people if there are people that you're reaching out to, if you're in an abusive situation yourself, to know how to get help and to make a safety plan for getting help and potentially leaving if that's the right thing to do. A lot of times, some situations are where there's just lots of conflict, and it is not life threatening, but it is quality of life destroying. And so teaching people if they're choosing to stay, helping people remember that they have choices, even if, and that their safety, this is our put safety first principle, your safety and your well-being are more important than anyone's embarrassment, inconvenience, or offense. And knowing
Can
how
you
to,
say that one more time? Say that one more time, Irene.
this was actually Ellen Bass, who is our founding board president.
And a
Um,
great friend of both of ours.
Yes, when she and I were at the bank signing the papers for incorporating KidPower, she
Yeah.
said, "What we're doing here is revolutionary. We are saying that the safety and well-being of each person are more important than anyone's embarrassment, inconvenience, or offense." And that's
That's
so
good.
easy to say, but how many times have you not spoken up because you were afraid of embarrassing somebody or being embarrassed yourself, or
Yeah.
upsetting somebody, upsetting feelings on the one side, safety and well-being on the other. Um, and so preparing people with that understanding of how that plays out in real life, and then how do you set boundaries, or how do you choose not to set boundaries and de-escalate conflict in other ways, is part of what we teach. Teaching people the emotional safety skills so that they are aware of their emotional triggers and can approach situations from a calm place and protect their hearts.
Can you
Is
can you give a little example of that one, or could we practice that one?
Yes. So that adjusting your emotional distance, if somebody, sometimes they're great because this happens a lot, and sometimes they are mean, let's say. And so if they're being, what you can do is, so put your two hands up like this. We do this physically with our bodies out in real life, but right now I'm just going to show you. So if this is the person who's being, let's make them a claw.
Okay.
Say, make that person a claw. If you stay next to that claw emotionally, you're going to get clawed. So you imagine moving yourself away emotionally. And you can move away physically and say, and so we have de-escalation things like saying, this one says, I hate you. And instead of saying, I hate you more, which is going to make you vulnerable, or saying, oh, that person hates me, that's going to, you say, I'm sad you feel that way. Go ahead and say that. I'm sad you feel that way.
I'm sad you feel that way.
Because I care about you a lot.
Because I care about you a lot.
I'm
going to say stay. Yeah.
I'll talk to you later. Right.
I'll talk to you later. Yeah, when you can straighten up.
Yeah. That's right. So that's an example of how we teach this online. And of course, we have a video that shows that in a real life setting. So here's an example of what it looks like in a real life situation.
Hi, nice to see you.
Not on my side.
Ooh, okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, you're sorry, you're always sorry.
I'm sorry you feel that way, because I like you a lot.
No, I'm not over. Stay here.
I'll talk to you later.
Mahilan.
Bye.
Thank you so much for showing that. I think that's a very powerful example for people to learn from. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. All right, now let's take a look at our relationship safety page. And here again, you see that we have workshops, we have webinars, we explain what relationship safety is. And it's for all kinds of relationships between colleagues at work, parents to kids, friends, neighbors, organizations you're part of, faith groups. We have a number of resources. We have articles and videos and webinars, and we often provide workshops with relationship safety skills of different kinds, emotional safety, as we've been talking about, conflict resolution, boundary setting. So, but these are all available and they're all free on our website. And of course,
wow. So people can really involve themselves without having to pay a lot of money. Is that right?
Oh, yes. And our scholarship policy is that we don't turn people away for lack of money either. We ask people to pay what they can, or groups to pay what they can. And then we still provide the service. So somebody can organize a workshop. We provide a lot for free. We seek funding, and of course, people do help us out with donations, and when they can.
And that's how it should be, that it could be accessible and then still well run and be continually adding to. And it's amazing the work you've done, Irene. It's really impressive.
Well, thank you.
And I just want to say then, thank you so much, Irene, for the work that you do, for the incredible contribution you've made and the impact you've made globally. It really is very meaningful to me personally, knowing you and being happy to be in the same community as you. So I'm very grateful to you for all your work.
Well, thank you, Anne. It's a joy to work with you.
Good. We'll keep doing this.
Okay.
Get the word out. Thanks so much.
We are here to learn about KidPower.
It's important for kids to be safe because you never know what's going to happen.
So we know what to do when a bully comes around.
Because out in the world, there's not always going to be someone there to help.
KidPower teaches young people and adults to use their power to stay safe, act wisely, and believe in themselves. We teach school programs, we teach parent-child workshops, we teach workshops for people with special needs. The reason I do this work is because in 1985, when my daughter was 7 and my son was 4, I took a group of young children, including them, into downtown Santa Cruz. And in a public place with people standing all around, a man threatened to kidnap my kids. And at that moment, all of them were my kids. To this day, I still can remember this man charging towards us with his arms stretched out with this group of young children, shouting, "I'm going to take one of these girls." I kept thinking, what if he'd knocked me down? What if he'd even tried to touch one of those kids? And I knew I'd do my best to stop him, but I didn't know how. And I realized I wanted my kids to be safe. I wanted all kids to be safe. Actually, I wanted everybody to know how to take charge of their safety.
Confidence is believing in yourself.
We'll have your kids practice listening. So can you touch her shoulder? Good. Can you pick up her hand?
You teach people how to set boundaries, how to show awareness. You know that there's damage that's not going to happen because of what you did that day. And what could be better work than that?
The 3 strategies we teach are to be aware, take charge, and get help. And we have them practice using their own awareness to turn around and really look at what somebody's doing behind them. We also teach kids to say stop. Stop can be for unsafe or inappropriate touch. And stop can be for when you're starting to have a safety emergency. If all else fails, we teach kids to use the power of their bodies in physical self-defense.
Go. No. Good. Again. No. That's it.
We have either on a kick pad or with a head-to-toe padded instructor so that they can really hit and really kick and nobody gets hurt.
As parents, we talk to our kids a lot about safety, but you tend to wonder if they were actually put in a dangerous situation, if they would really know how to react.
Okay, look back, look back. What is Piggy doing?
My daughter's 3, and we love going to KidPower because we learn all kinds of fun things that we practice at home, and it really improves the way she interacts with the kids at school. We did a KidPower class before, and when we got home, all she wanted to do was talk about safety in the store. What do we do? What's our safety plan? It's just been amazing the way she's taken to it.
Stand up. Good. I didn't think I would get anything out of it, but I really did, more in terms of keeping calm and my own interactions with the children as well as with people around me. You may say things over and over again, but for them to actually do it and role play, I think really kind of gets the message in.
I learned how to walk away in dangerous situations.
I learned what techniques to use to defend myself.
Now I know how to be safe, and it just makes me feel more powerful.
Good job.